Hey everybody, it is RambleCast time. How's it going? It is an August 10th. They make those. And in the room with us is a Corbin.
Hello. Sorry, I was trying to open the YouTube chat because I forgot to do that already. But yeah. So according to Cody, I look better than ever because I am streaming from my Mac and not my Windows PC. But I think it's really just because I'm more beautiful today.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly saying it the way that you just did, but hey, okay.
No, I think you did. I think you did.
I see. All right. Um so yeah, it's I don't know. Things happened today, sort of. I don't know, a couple, just one. Samsung did things. Oh, actually, you know what? I even suggested something else before we were gonna get into this. So yeah, instead of talking about that, let's talk about Quickly Techathon. Corbin,
Yes.
there was
So
money.
yes, we the last Techathon charity stream with a bunch of tech journalists and streamers and other nice people was this past Sunday. We raised money for the National Network of Abortion Funds because of the recent Supreme Court decision. And we did a 12-hour stream and we raised a grand total of $450, which that's more than I was expecting, given that, you know, we didn't have a whole lot of people participating this time relative to the other two. And, you know, this is like, it shouldn't be, but it's more controversial than like raising money for Doctors Without Borders or whatever. So I think we did good. There were no catastrophic technical issues. Played a bunch of games. I was there. Cody was there. People from trying to. I'm sorry. I'm really tired. I'm gonna be really honest with you. Between this and Samsung, I'm a husk of a person this for the remainder of the week. But we had a bunch of other journalist people there. We had Evan there. We had Flo. Flo was nice enough to show up for like 2 hours.
That's
And
Florence Ion.
yes, I think her people donated most of the money that came from her audience, so that was nice. So yeah, so it went well, and we're still planning to do one in like December-ish, like the past two times we've done. I'm guessing that one will probably be another like international cause, because those, you know, obviously would bring in more people and probably more money and whatnot. But I'm glad we did this, and hopefully also there can be more like smaller scale techathons like this in the future. This still needed a lot of prep work, but it wasn't quite as much of a chaotic experience as the last one was. And yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we'll find a way to make it happen again, for sure.
yeah,
Chaos included.
I'm trying to work with like Adam and Zachary Wonder and everyone to get some better like organization and planning going, so it's not as much of a mess again. Still trying to figure all that stuff out. But yeah, so good stuff. We raised money for abortion access. That's pretty cool.
Also, hello to Austin.
Hello.
Good to have you in chat. But yeah, it was a good time. For those that watched, We have confirmed Nils is no longer having any more technical issues. Things seem to be okay on his computer now. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I wanted to make more jokes about that, but it just nothing was coming to mind.
It's fine. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, the whole stream archive is at twitch.tv/checkathon. I think Adam saved it in time. He claimed he did. Yes, he did. Okay. So I'll put that link in the chat.
So
And,
our ineptitude is locked in forever.
yes. Yeah. Don't worry about it. I'm sure, Cody, I can never, like, as long as this channel, oh, there's a bug. As long as this channel exists, I can never, like, run for any kind of public office, definitely, because I know for a fact on one of these live streams where you kept me going for like 3 hours, I've said some really dumb shit. I mean, I've said dumb shit in a lot of places, but like, definitely here is one of the top ones.
I mean, I could see an argument for why this might stop you from getting like a lobbyist position for a tech company. I'm not sure I remember a whole lot of instances that are going to stop you from running for office. Just remember, think very, very carefully about all of the things all of the people in office has said. And just remember, the worst things that you have said on your worst day are better than most of the best things they've said ever in their lives.
That's true.
Collectively.
There's not a recording of me saying how I sexually assault women like there is for a certain past president.
It's good you clarified president, and that actually still technically leaves open.
Yeah. How many of them did that? Yeah.
Shit, that actually 3?
I'm sure there's a lot of
well, I mean 3 that have actual recordings.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
Pretty sure it's 3. There could be more, but oh wait, 4.
Yeah. We picked some good ones. And Curvy Mermaid is here. Hello.
Hey Curvy, how's it going?
Hello. Yes, she posted that Disney Plus and Hulu prices are going up. I saw this. I did not have time to write for it for work today, but Disney. Oh wait. Oh, was this on a investors call?
Yeah.
They announced this. Okay. Hold on. Let me check my Disney stock. See how that's going. I am a very ethical journalist. Oh, they're up. Let's go. Okay, I'll have to remember to put that disclaimer when I write this tomorrow that I have Disney stock. I had to do that for the Warner HBO stuff, even though my stock went way down, actually. But yeah, up 6% after hours. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Disney Hulu's getting really expensive. I've had Hulu for years. And like I might move to the ad version. I'm not sure. I'll see. I'm not like scrimping like I was 6 months ago, but that is a lot of money.
Says the guy who just bought 2 Apple computers within like a month of each other.
Yeah.
Actually, not even a month.
No, it was like a month. But
it's close to a month.
Yeah, but fun times. And yeah, I don't know. I still use Hulu's the only one I pay for myself, and it's really the only one I use a lot. Like, even though I've had access to Disney Plus, I just don't open it that often.
You're weird.
Yeah. And I will say Hulu on iPad, way better than Hulu on Android tablets. So it's another win for the iPad. Not necessarily because of anything Apple did, but like what has driven me absolutely crazy with Hulu on Android is everything is letter. Yeah, everything. Yeah, the app design is still not good, but everything is letterboxed to 16 by 9. So if like, I'll give you an example. When I'm watching, when I'm watching Frasier, which is 4 by 3 or whatever. When I watch that on my Galaxy tablet, it's like it doesn't reach the top of the screen because it's like letterbox, even though it's just, like I don't because the tablet's 16 by 9 or no, I'm sorry, it's 16 by 10 or something like that. So that when I watch the Galaxy tablet.
Oh, yeah, it should be 16 by 10.
Yeah, this thing. So when I watch a show on this, it's like the TV show does not reach all the way to the top of the screen. Obviously, it's not going to stretch wide, but yeah. But Hulu on iPad doesn't have that issue, so that's cool. So again, another win for the iPad.
I am just so against Hulu. In many ways, I know it's not justified or warranted, but I'm just against Hulu. I think it is so ingrained in me that I'm just going to forever hate that company.
That's fine. I'm like that with some other companies. Austin said, honestly, only the TV subscription is good. I think I get my money's worth with YouTube Premium. Yeah, I will say, when I switched to full-time work at XDA in like October, whenever that was, and I was making marginally more money, literally first new thing I started paying for was YouTube Premium, because like I use YouTube a lot and I don't want to, and the YouTube is insane with ads. And partially because of YouTube, but partially also just because like YouTube lets people pick how many like mid-roll ads are in their videos, and some of them go a little bit more crazy than others. But I still want the people I'm watching to get like my, half of a cent or whatever they get from views. So
yeah.
No, and if this was like a public, if Cody, if you were like a mega streamer with like thousands of people in the chat right now, they would all be like, Corbin, have you heard of ad block? Because this is what happens every single time I bring up that I like premium. It's like, no, I know it exists.
Yeah.
But they can have my, 2 cents per view when I watch this person's video for the 5th time.
Yes. So, I gotta say, when it started coming out, well, first it was rumors, and then I found some proof of it in a teardown, and then it was confirmed not too long after that YouTube was going to do a premium service that was ad-free. I remember just being so adamant that this is the thing I needed to happen more than anything else to make my life good. Like, I was watching so many YouTube videos for work, like actual work purposes. I had YouTube open constantly, and the mere fact that like taking ads out of the equation just automatically gave me, like, I don't know, a good 20 minutes back in my day. Every day just got like 20 minutes more because of that. So yeah, it was that was the best money I ever spent. I'm sure that's not entirely true, but it's close.
Yeah, especially if like you're one of the people who want a music streaming service, but it doesn't need to be like that good. You get YouTube Music too. I still get.
It is a really good music streaming service. It just doesn't do the best at recommending music. Yeah, and it's still not bad. I have had way worse recommendations out of a couple of other services. It's just not the best. And
yeah, I'm still on my my mom set up a family Spotify plan years ago, and I'm still on that. But if I didn't have that, I would be using YouTube Music because I already pay for it.
Yeah.
I will say the one thing that's kind of actually I won't go into that because I need to think about it more because it's going to be something I eventually write. So I won't. But yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, that said, I'm still not individually paying for any streaming services, but I do happen to have HBO Max thanks to AT&T, and I have Amazon Prime because
Yeah.
uh
I actually do get I just upgraded to Cricket's unlimited plan. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it, but I really wanted tethering again since I switched off of Ting because
yeah.
this is nice to have, and they only have it on their unlimited plan. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep it, but they're still throwing in HBO with ads in there. But I have another family member who, at least right now, is still paying for HBO without ads. So, but that is there that I'm technically paying for.
That's something. But yeah, I'm for the most part getting what I need out of those, plus whatever else.
Yeah.
Which it covers pretty much anything. Anyway, but yeah, I gotta say, with, I believe, what was it, Netflix was about to raise their prices, Disney Plus and Hulu are going to raise their prices.
Mm-hmm.
I seem to remember Amazon was apparently planning in the more distant future they're going to boost the price of Prime.
They just raised it a
a
few months ago.
Okay, so they just raised it. They'll
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I'm sure they'll be raising it again in a year and a half or just 2 years, something like that.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I'm feeling like so I get it. I understand they need to make money. They need to show investors that they can continue making more money. But my God, what a terrible time during a point when everyone is complaining about losing money. What a really bad time to say, you know what? We need to make more money off you guys. We're going to boost prices.
This is a big capitalism moment.
Oh, it so is.
Yeah.
And every one of them is probably also firing a few people because, oh my God, businesses were not making enough money, so we have to fire our employees.
Yeah, I did see, I think it was The Verge, or TechCrunch, one of them covered that on that same, Amazon made news a couple days ago because they announced they're going to buy iRobot, which makes the Roomba vacuums. Yep. And on that investors call, Roomba or iRobot announced that they were laying off like 100 people.
Yes.
It's like, okay, you're getting bought by Amazon. Calm down. But that would be silly, right? To like use excess profits to, keep employees around, or maybe even give them a raise sometimes. That'd be insane.
Yeah.
That's
absolute madness.
Every, dollar going to employees, that's another dollar that could go into Jeff Bezos's like third yacht, Why do that? And that's yacht money.
I'll even throw in, like, I get the incentive to quote unquote make a little bit more money, and by firing employees. That is a way that you can do that. Mm-hmm. Or, have your employees do something new. Take the employees that you're going to fire and give them another task. Something else that will make money. Do that. I don't know. Spin off into another company even. There. More money. Woohoo. Like, what are you doing firing people, you morons?
Yeah, like Microsoft just laid off, I think, 200 people in a team that they made like 8 years ago. That was, I think, mostly like marketing or like consumer outreach stuff. But like, again, like Microsoft's huge. They can shove a lot of those people somewhere else. But no, the line must go up.
Yep. So speaking of the line going up, or actually the line getting bent right in the middle for whatever reason. Hey.
Well done.
Yeah, I like it. Samsung did a thing. I started talking about this earlier, and then I decided not to. But we're gonna do it again. This time for real. So, yeah, Samsung announced some new hardware because that's what they do.
Yep.
A couple times a year,
And
even.
I wrote about all of it, and by the time I was finishing up the last bit, I wanted to never see the word Samsung again, or at least not for a few days, because they announced so much. They announced a lot of it stuff. Most of it does not matter, but they like had a lot to talk about, and everything they announced has like a bunch of things that like anyone buying it probably needs to be aware of. It's there's just a lot of ground to cover. Like this happens every time with smartphones too, where smartphones do so much stuff that like explaining what they do and why one is different or worth buying or not worth buying is like in itself a huge task. Unless we're talking about like a budget phone where like they're not really trying to innovate, they're just, you know, here's the $200 phone. You know what to expect here. Here's the link to buy it. But you know, these are two flagship phones and two wearable devices, so there's a lot of stuff. So where do you want to start, Cody? Where do you want to start?
Okay, so I'm gonna start by saying I did not watch the event.
Okay.
I mostly really haven't read much about them because it's just so hard to care.
Mhm.
I'm not that enthused by these phones because okay, wow, this might be going into too much logic, but actually, you know what? I'm gonna save this.
Okay.
In part so I can think a little more about it, but also because I feel like I'm probably doing a disservice by not going through at least what was announced. So
Okay.
it's two
I
phones,
need
a watch, and some buds, correct?
correct.
All right, I'm not leaving something out.
No, I mean there were like other little stuff like they made a big deal about how they're trying to use more recycled materials and whatever, but yeah, this is the main stuff.
Stuff everyone says every keynote.
Yeah, I'm like, great job. You're killing slightly less trees, but also you're still giving like one update a year to your budget phones that will get tossed out. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So okay, so I guess I'll start with the Flip. The Flip is what most people care about. Like Samsung, I had to dig around to find this number again because it was driving me crazy. I couldn't find it, but Samsung did say earlier this year that in 2021, the Flip was 70% of their foldable sales. So that other 30%, I believe, is just the Fold. I don't think, unless they like release some weird product somewhere that I don't know about. But so
yeah, I think that's a safe bet, and it makes sense because I mean, one of these is a phone that regular people could point to and say, yeah, it costs about as much as any other flagship
yeah,
phone.
yeah.
And then the Fold was a ridiculous, well, it significantly more expensive and effectively the most expensive smartphone anyone can buy. Like logically, yeah. Which one are people gonna get?
Yeah, Flip is $1,000, and it looks like a clamshell phone, so it's got a little bit of like nostalgia for the people who grew up with that. Not me, but some people.
Yeah, and to be fair, it is an objectively more stylish phone, I think.
Yeah, because it also like almost kind of solves the problem of phones being huge.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I agree with doing it in this way, but it does kind of complete that objective. And the Galaxy Fold is like $1,800, I think, so huge difference.
Yeah.
So the Galaxy Z Flip 4 is what they announced, and it's not that different. So it's got the same 6.7 inch 120 hertz AMOLED screen on the inside, and then it has a 1.9 inch cover screen on the outside that you can use some apps on without opening the phone. That's also kind of handy if you're you want to take like a selfie but use like the actual cameras on the phone, that kind of stuff. So there's some useful stuff there. It has the same IPX8 water resistance rating, so like if you splash water on it, it won't die instantly. Still no dust protection, no huge like upgrades there. They've tweaked the hinge some, so it's more flat when you close it. Like if you look at these phones from the side, the close angle is like it's not always entirely flat. It's more flat now, or rather like it's more like as you go to the back, it like angles up a little bit because the part that needs to stretch is that middle bar. So they've done that a little bit better, but it's not like radical redesign or anything. And it has a Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, so that's nice. That's better, slightly better than the chip on the S22 and all the other big flagship phones so far this year. And I think the main disappointment this time around is the cameras, because full disclosure, I've never used one of these phones because I can't spend this much money on a phone that
is expected to break.
Right, it's more fragile. Like I know they don't like shatter if you look at them weird anymore, but like I that's just not something I want to spend that much money on. But anyway, so one of the major complaints with recent flip phones, I think maybe all of them, but definitely at least the recent ones, is the camera systems do not match Samsung's actual flagship phones. Especially compared to the S Ultra phones. It absolutely does not reach that, because I think that's like the main thing Samsung can bring down. Because like again, like Cody, you just said a couple minutes ago, this is the most accessible folding phone.
Yeah,
like it's $1,000. That's like normal phone pricing. So if you want to put a folding display with all the mechanisms and everything else and lower manufacturing yield that entails, then you need to cut some other stuff relative to $1,000 phone, which is in this case pretty much just the cameras. So the cameras on the Z Flip 3, the last one, weren't all that great. Like all the reviews were like, it's fine, but like you'll get better camera quality with like most other phones in this price range that aren't folding. And they kept the exact same camera this time. So it is a the front facing camera, like the one that's under the screen on the folding part, is 10 megapixels. The main camera on the back is 12, and there is a 12 megapixel wide angle lens. So the regular Galaxy S22, which costs $700 right now, MSRP I think is like $800, but it's $700 right now, that has a 50 megapixel main camera. Now that's been like, they take like 4 pixels and combine them, but it's better. So this still does not match the base S phone, which is not, like, I understand, but it's not great. Like camera was like the main camera, and battery life I believe are like the main complaints with the Flip 3, and this doesn't really change the camera. The battery is bigger though. They did do that. They went from, let me see, where did I write it down? Okay, they went from 3,300 milliamp to 3,700. So not a huge jump, but
yeah,
that'll help.
I'm sure they
and they as a little bit faster charging. It went from 15 watt to 25 watt. Again, the new chip and everything.
Yeah.
So
I mean, specs, little generational improvements aside, like, it's obviously better than the previous generation, but they didn't fix really the biggest complaint about the previous generation, and they barely fixed or barely improved the other biggest complaint. Well, sorry, there were 3 big complaints. The third one, of course, being the screen breaks all the time just from using it.
Yeah.
But that I'm saving that rant for after we finish the at least discussion of the 2 folding phones that came out.
And this no, oh dear, I just noticed a very big typo in my article. I'm gonna I said this phone starts at $99. That is not correct. I forgot a 9. Okay, we're good.
Whoops.
I was very tired. Leave me alone.
Hey,
so
I didn't.
I know, this is preemptive strike. So yeah, it starts at $1,000. They've got it in a bunch of colors.
And you can do this bespoke edition again.
Yeah, they've got the color customizer thing, which is kind of neat. I wish they do that for more phones.
Yeah.
Austin said, I have no interest in foldables, but I have no idea how Samsung can support their current trade-in values and bonuses. The Fold bundle with the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro and Galaxy Buds 2 Pro came out to like $950 with my education discount. Yeah, I don't. Again, we've talked about this a lot. Like, it's kind of insane, but I think they just build it into their profit margins at this point.
Yep.
Like, Samsung 100%. Like, even now, they always do the thing where they show you like I don't know. Their phones aren't at MSRP for very long, so that's part of it.
Yeah. Almost no phone ever really is, but.
Yeah.
I think what this does, I was thinking a lot about this. It was either this morning or yesterday. I think at this stage, what Samsung's trying to do is treat phones kind of like a informal subscription program. Basically, they want you to get into their ecosystem, their economy. And then every few years, you're just supposed to send the phone back to them and get a new one at a substantial discount.
Yeah.
But as long as they don't have an actual formal subscription plan and they don't have any like hard set routine about when you have to send a phone back or anything like that, honestly, they, for the most part, like, it gives customers more flexibility, and it means that they don't necessarily have to deliver a perfect upgrade phone every year. Like, you know, if they come out with something that you don't want this year, you'll just come back and do it next year, or you can switch between not generations, but families of phones. If you try to fold, don't like it, you want to go to an S22, well, S whatever, you can do that. If you want to switch from an S to a fold, they're down for that too. Like, their trade-in system kind of just enables you to do whatever the hell you want, which is great. I encourage that.
Yeah, I mean, I've had like one incident with their trade-ins, and I know there's like a bunch of horror stories where people send in
lots of people have incidents.
Perfect phones, but yeah, I mean, like, generally, I guess it's good, and it is definitely a form of lock-in because Samsung is going to give you the best trade-in value for a Samsung device. So, you know, you're kind of incentivized to keep upgrading with Samsung stuff.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go the route of doing it. I've seen carriers are getting pretty crazy with trade-ins too, but with carriers, you get carrier locked phones, or you get the discount in bill credits or whatever. Like, I saw AT&T for this was doing, like, I think a free flip phone, like a free Galaxy Z Flip, if you, I believe, set up a new unlimited phone line. And then it's the discount is bill credits. So, over the course of your phone line, $1,000 of your phone line will be free or whatever.
Yep. Galaxy Z Flip 4 for free when you trade in a Galaxy phone. Any year, any condition. Let's see, other terms. What are the other terms?
the 50 asterisks.
See, here's the thing. I kind of got screwed because I was going to get an S22 Ultra a few months back, and I couldn't because AT&T screwed it up. But now I might just do this because I have two AT&T phones that I could totally trade in that are ancient. Purchase an eligible smartphone on a qualifying installment agreement, including taxes, full retail price up front, and $30 activation upgrade fee. Activate and keep a postpaid eligible unlimited wireless service. Blah blah blah. Trading. Activate or keep. So I think that might mean you don't need to start well, wait. Hold on. It says activate / keep. That's hard to. That could mean you have to start a new one and keep it. You know, as opposed to the whole like start it and cancel it right away kind of crap that people used to do. Or it could just mean like activate or keep. I hate when they do that. Yeah, if you cancel service, blah blah blah. For new lines, if you cancel service on any other line on your account within 90 days of activating the line under this offer, device credits will stop. Yeah, they always say that, but the fact that it says it that way kind of implies that you can do this on existing lines. I might look into this.
Okay.
Because it would be kind of nice to get this phone, even though I honestly will not use it.
Yeah, it's a fun toy.
Well, the whole thing is effectively a free phone, and I can trade it in a few years for a much better trade-in value.
Yep. Yeah, so like carriers are getting better with that stuff. I have no experience with like the trade-in programs there. I would imagine you at least remove the variable of if you do it through a store, I would imagine you remove the variable of them not accepting a trade-in because they're right there and they see the phone.
Yeah, so speaking of, I actually want to address this because I just happen to have the prop handy next to me. When I went to go trade in my phone, which I made a point, instead of shipping it back, I made a very specific point. I wanted to trade it in at AT&T. I came in wearing an action camera right on my chest and recording the entire thing. That might sound crazy. That might sound unnecessary, but screw all of that crap. I was not going to risk having to pay for a phone if I don't have to. And if it means wearing an action camera like a nerd, I'm gonna do it.
Look at you having more transparency than most police officers.
Wow.
The trade-in gets a little tense, and Cody's like, "All right, let me turn off my camera for a second here, buddy."
Corbin going for the deep cut on that. I like it. But yeah, it was funny enough, really surprising. The girl who handled the trade-in, either she didn't notice the camera or she just didn't care. One or the other. Like, I kind of think this is something people might be doing all the time. Because she did not seem phased in the least. She was pretty chill about the whole thing. But admittedly, I did not call attention to it, so it is possible she just didn't notice.
Right. You're not like, if you don't give me the trade-in, I'm going to send this to corporate.
Yeah.
Though
the counter to that is I was wearing a reasonably light colored shirt, and that camera would stick out like a sore thumb. So I'm just saying, it'd be weird if she didn't notice it.
Austin also said, I feel like they're also willing to lose money on folding phones because they see it as their only chance for Apple market share burn. I'm almost certain that a big chunk of this equation is just getting users and getting first time customers if possible, because like that is such a huge thing for publicly traded tech companies. Like, just, it doesn't really matter if you're losing money in the short term if you're getting users. Like, you know, I mean, like that's the entire way like Uber makes money. Like, they've never made money, but because they keep getting users, they keep getting more investor money, and they're, it doesn't work for them anymore because everyone finally caught up. But
I don't know if that I mean, I'm sure to some extent that's true.
A better
Samsung,
example would
but
be a better example would be like how Apple is focusing more on services these days.
But that's a different thing. I feel like Samsung is not a company that's chasing users to boost stock price. They're chasing users to boost their ecosystem and investment. And again, like, part of the trade-in logic is, even if we basically give you a phone every few years, like, breaking even. I'm sure they're mostly breaking even. But as long as they are breaking even on the phones, it gives them the opportunity to pitch services, ads, whatever else through their phones. And, if they can make even $10-15 off of every person who's got their phones every couple of years, that's definitely not much by their standard, but that's still probably in the billions of dollars. I don't know. I have no idea what their unit shipments look like, but I'm sure if they're making any amount of money on phones, even with crazy trade-ins, they're making money, and that's got to count. And I'm sure their value is more getting a platform out in people's pockets where they're collecting data, they're getting to push ads, and they're getting to sell services and affiliate stuff. And I mean, I haven't checked recently because I still basically don't use this Samsung phone, but I'm sure that there's got to be at least a few apps on here that other companies paid to put on the phone.
Yeah, that's what I was about to bring up. Like, that could also be part of the equation where Samsung has partnerships with Google and like Microsoft. Like, maybe those give Samsung more of a bonus if more people open one of those apps, whatever.
Well, just including them.
Yeah,
I mean, it's product placement. Even if people don't open it.
Yeah, I think Facebook still comes on Samsung phones by default. You can fully remove it, but I think it does still ship with them. So yeah, and there's stuff like that, the Office app I think is included on Samsung phones. I think OneDrive maybe. Yeah, there's some stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure the crazy trade-ins are because they can subsidize it a million ways. And also Samsung is one of the most vertically integrated tech companies on earth right now. So when you look at a Galaxy Z Flip, that's their screen they're using. That's probably their storage. They're probably their RAM. I don't know if there's an Exynos Flip, but so maybe the chip is from them, maybe not.
Well, if rumors are to be believed, they're not going to be shipping Exynos on any of their, at least, flagship phones.
Flagship, yeah.
So
yeah, that's the rumor. I'll believe, like, it's looking likely, but I'll believe that when I see it, because that has been the rumor for every phone for the past 10 years. Yeah. Every year they're like, guys, it's gonna happen. Samsung's gonna sell Snapdragon phones in Europe or India or whatever. All those people in India get really excited every year, and then they're let down every time.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll believe. But yeah, so like there's like a million different things that could contribute to that. Actually, I'm gonna put that in my list of things I'll never get to write, is like how that's possible. Maybe I can ask people. That'd be cool.
You mean doing investigative journalism?
I know, that's crazy.
Now Nobody does
I,
that these days.
I fulfilled my no journalism quota this month because I wrote an article that was just 10 features on the Nintendo Switch, and I believe that's now my most popular thing I've written on How to Geek. Which I think has some useful tips in there. Like there was, oh, yep, it is. That's my most popular post now. It's not even close. Wow, it is almost double what the second place is. Dear Lord.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty proud of that. I took some pictures for it. I learned a couple things while writing it, so that's nice.
Yeah, counts for something.
Yeah, I do like taking pictures. So, yes, that's the flip. There was also the fold. Where did I put the fold tab? Here's the fold tab. So, again, this was a very iterative update. Again, like there were a lot of rumors this time that maybe there would be an S Pen, like on the S22 Ultra, or there would be an under-screen fingerprint sensor instead of the side one. Neither of those happened. It still supports S Pen like the last one, but you have to buy Samsung's funny-looking case for it that has the S Pen slot in it, and it does not come with the S Pen. I believe it's the same size screen. Oh, I'm sorry. I believe the inside screen is the same, but the outside one is bigger, so the cover screen is a little bit larger.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and same IPX8 rating as the Flip, and no dust protection. And it also has the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. It has 12 gigs of RAM as standard. And oh, there's another typo in my article.
Oh, Corbin.
Can you tell I wrote a lot of these, and some of them in weird hours I would not normally want to work, but I was feeling stressed out about it?
Why does that so is that the explanation for all the other typos that you typically have?
Yes. Every time is an inconvenient time for me to write coherent English.
I'll accept that defense.
So yeah, so 12 gigs of RAM up to 512 gigs of storage. It does have Android 12L, which the last Fold did not have. I believe 9to5 said it's gonna come to that phone eventually, which is kind of weird because like we're about to get Android 13 and Samsung is beta testing 13 on other phones, but wasn't ready for this phone. And I mean, it seems like other phones should just skip to 13, but I don't know.
You don't really want to ship a phone with something that is technically still beta.
Oh yeah, like I didn't expect them to ship. I wouldn't expect them to ship 13 on this, but it is. I don't know. It's weird that like it didn't already get 12L, or the last one didn't already get 12L because that's been out for months, and everyone kind of assumed they would just skip it and wait for 13, but now it is going to get 12L before it gets 13. I don't know, but it does have the dock thing from Android 12L, so multitasking looks nicer. That 12 gigs of RAM is probably pretty good for multitasking, and it has, I believe, the same camera setup as before. Again, like not amazing cameras. It's the same setup as the Galaxy S22 and S22 Plus, so it does have a 50 megapixel main camera, so that's nice. And like I for the most part really like the camera on my baby S22, so I know it's an okay camera. But I know, again, like there is people who want this form factor and the Flip form factor, but with all of the camera, and that Samsung is just not offering that at this point, whether it's because of price or physical limitations or both. You can't get the best camera with a folding phone. The best camera that Samsung can make, rather.
Yeah.
And this one, same price, $1,800. I feel like they had a lot of excuses probably to raise prices, but they didn't. It's still horrendously expensive, but they didn't make it more horrendously expensive. And there's a bunch of different colors. Also, with the flip and fold, Samsung's doing what they did with the S22 pre-orders, where you can get a memory upgrade for free. Which basically means that you can. There's a gnat keeps going in front of my face. Means you can get the 512 gig version for what the 256 will eventually cost. And that kind of leveling up, so it's nice, I guess. And of course there's like a million other like little promo stuff. If you pre-order through Samsung's online store, you get $100 of the store credit, but of course all of Samsung's accessories are like kind of pricey, so that doesn't get you as far as you might think it would. Or I get, I don't know. They didn't tell me ahead of time if that's like instant credit, like you can pick your cases and stuff in the order, or if you get that later. But yeah, whatever. There's another thing I have to fix. Oh boy, I am a good writer, guys.
Yeah, so I gotta admit, through all of this, I struggle so much with being interested in these phones, and it really comes down to one thing. A year ago, we heard how these screens were going to be able to survive like thousands and thousands of opens and closes, and they were going to be pretty much impervious to damage. It wasn't like ridiculous damage. And we heard this and we heard that. I don't think they fixed any of that. It doesn't sound like they did. It sounds like they basically...
No, it's all minor adjustments.
Yeah, and hey, minor adjustments might improve some of that, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And I'm not trying to be a downer about it, but it also kind of makes me just not that interested. I feel like we're still a couple generations away from them releasing a phone that's not going to just sort of naturally break because you use it. And that kind of bums me out. And it just makes me not want to pay that much attention to these announcements.
Right, like that's why I have not bought one of these, because obviously any device you carry with you is going to get wear and tear over time, but like my Galaxy S22 will not break down over time, barring like drops and scratches and stuff, in the same way that these folding phones do. Like every time you open one of these phones, you're dropping the lifespan a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's just not a thing with other phones. And that's why I don't feel super great about spending a lot of money on them, because it's different. Like I know with any phone, maybe the volume switch will get pushed in or something, or the USB port gets messed up, because those have limited lifespans too. But it's not the same thing. Like that stuff, you have to be a pretty heavy user to run into breakages like that, or again, you actually damage your phone in a way that would break both folding and non-folding phones.
Yeah,
it's not the same rapid level of degrading.
Yeah, and there's also kind of the degree of, can you work around that sort of breakage? I mean, nobody wants to have a phone where your charging port is broken, but you know what? If you got wireless charging, you can survive. If your screen breaks, okay, you might be able to continue using it. It kind of depends on how bad of a break it is. But to be fair, we've seen a lot of instances where these breaks, they start out kind of minimal and then they get real bad really fast. So you never know. And I'm not super down with that.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, it's cool. Like, I would still like to, have one of these at some point, but it's not something I can drop this much money for. Especially now that Hulu's going up. That's really, maxed out my budget for the year. So,
Yeah.
very unfortunate.
Yeah. So, and also, it's funny. We were talking about it during Techathon. Every phone review these days, with a few exceptions, focuses so much on the camera. And, I'll freely admit, that's obviously not the key interest of every person. But it is clearly a substantial part of the discussion for a lot of people. And it is a fairly important point of discussion. It feels so weird that these are the flagships that are like, you know what? We'd like to put in good camera. We're just not going to.
Yeah.
So yeah, these phones feel like they're compromises on top of compromises. And they're the most expensive compromises on the market.
Definitely with the fold and flip. If you already want a foldable phone, these are better. But if you don't want one for any of the reasons we've talked about or other ones, these will not change your mind. Like these are the same basic phones, just marginally better.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the folding phones. There was also the Galaxy Watch 5,
yeah,
which was a little bit. So the normal Galaxy Watch 5 is also kind of an iterative update, matching the theme. It looks pretty much the same. I believe they put a little bit of a bigger battery in it. I don't really have battery problems with my Watch 4, but I think some people did. But I also have the larger size of the Watch 4. I think that was more an issue with the smaller. I think it was 40 millimeter.
It usually is
the smaller one. Yeah. So I believe the battery sizes are bigger across all the sizes, or at least the small one. Same Wear OS software. Now it's One UI. I think it's 4.5. I forget the exact major release number, but it's a 0.5 iteration over what they're doing. They're also calling the software on this Wear OS 3.5, which is interesting. I don't think I had heard of that before now, and I don't really know what's different. But I didn't have a whole lot of time to dig into every single little thing here. I'm one person covering all of this, and I'm very tired. But so that's interesting, and it has the same chipset. I believe the same chipset that might be in the Pixel Watch, if rumors are correct, the Exynos W920 or whatever, and same 1.5 gigs of RAM, same 16 gigs of internal storage, and has a little bit faster charging. So just a bunch of little stuff. And I'm sure the Watch 4 will get the same software eventually, because I think they said they're updating the watches on the same 3 or 4 years that the flagship phones get. So they should get the especially because everything in Wear OS is updated without an OS update, really.
Yeah.
I'm sure Samsung stuff, some of it needs an update, but it's this is built to be really modular, just like Android phones.
Yeah, pretty much.
And really the big change this year was that Samsung has replaced the Watch 4 Classic with the Watch 4 Pro. And it's still kind of it's kind of the same category, where it's a slightly bigger version built with better materials. It's this one's built with titanium or some I don't know if it's 100% titanium. It might just be coated in it. I don't know, but some titanium, and it has sorry, I'm trying to make sure what I'm saying is correct, but yeah, so
No more
some amount of
typos.
titanium, no more typos, and the big change here is that the spinning bezel is gone. That has been on at least one of the watches Samsung has sold at any given time for years, going back to the Gear watches, and that's not an option anymore. So I'm a little bit bummed about that in theory, because like I did try this on when I reviewed the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic at XDA when that came out. That went back to Samsung, so I didn't have it for long. But I did like the spinning bezel. It's fun. It's a lot better than scrolling up and down. So like if you don't know what I'm talking about, the earlier watches, you could spin there was like a spinning part on top of the watch screen, so like surrounding the watch screen, and you could turn it like a dial, and it would, if you were at an app, it would like scroll up and down. If you were just on the main watch face, it would scroll you through all of your like tiles and your notifications. So it was really great for like quickly jumping to a certain tile or going through all of your notifications without doing a like a swipe on the 1.5-inch screen or whatever. So it was nice, but they really only ever put it on the more expensive watches and the ones that were larger, because like you need more room for this stuff. So every time I bought my own Galaxy watch, which was when I bought the original Watch Active, and then the Watch Active 2, and then the Watch 4, I never got one with a spinning bezel, because I'm cheaping out, and also I don't like huge watches.
Right.
Generally, the Watch 4 is kind of big. Like they kind of, there used to be more of a distinction here, where the Classic looked more like a normal watch, and the normal or the Act or the whatever other one they had at a time was more like Apple Watch, like sleek.
So what you're saying is it's your fault that they got rid of this feature.
Yeah, it was me. Sorry.
Yeah. Because I mean, if people aren't buying it, it seems like that's the problem.
Yeah. And so yeah, I'm kind of annoyed, because that was one thing that like you could only ever get with Samsung watches. I don't know if they had patents on it or something, but no one else has ever tried this.
Well, the joke I was gonna make, I planned somewhere to make this. I just didn't really see the good opportunity until now. Is it's kind of like how OnePlus is about to drop their notification slider. Like, these are features that companies were putting into phones, and then they were like, you know what? This clearly just isn't doing it for us. Let's just get rid of it. We can save money in whatever fashion. And yeah, no one's going to care. Which, of course, then a lot of people, especially in the tech blogger sphere, kind of pick up and scream, oh my god, you got rid of this thing that's awesome. And yeah, and then you can just imagine the people in the company being like, yeah, if it was so awesome, why was no one using it? Why was no one buying it? Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, again, like, I'm sure exactly like when they removed the headphone jack from phones, and when OnePlus took off the alert slider, I'm sure Samsung had the exact percentage of people with these watches who either bought the one with the dial because they wanted the dial, or used the dial on the watches that had it and it wasn't worth the cost, or they wanted to do something else with the design that makes the dial more difficult.
Or maybe there was a increase to component cost, or any number of manufacturing details could have actually justified it. Maybe they had a really high repair rate on watches that were being sent back because maybe the dial was failing or something like that.
Right.
Like, any of these things could factor in.
Yeah, and the past couple generations, they have had a digital version of this where you can swipe along the edges of the touchscreen, and it tries to do the same thing. It's not as good, obviously, because like the nice thing about the spinning bezel is that it was tactile, like you could feel it. And there's like nice like clicking motions too, almost like a mouse wheel a little bit. But it's it's there. So kind of a little bit sad, I guess, but yeah, I'm sure not many people in reality will mind.
Yeah.
And last one was the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. Samsung's product naming is killing me.
That was not that bad.
It's
not great.
You can take one of these things off. But yeah, so these are Samsung's new top of the line earbuds. Like these are replacing the old Buds Pro. They're still selling the Buds Live, the Beans that I adore. If they discontinue them, I will scream. They're not allowed to discontinue those because I actually probably need to buy new ones soon because I accidentally rubbed the paint off of mine trying to clean them the other day. So they better not discontinue the Buds Live, and they still sell the Buds 2, like their normal, it's like their AirPods basically. And I have those too, and they're pretty nice, except I need to try a different ear tip for them because the ones I got aren't that great. So the Buds 2 Pro, these are like Samsung's AirPods Pro, like that. They're going for that same market. These cost $230, which is the most expensive Samsung earbuds to date. That's $30 less than AirPods Pro. And these have pretty much like Samsung's earbuds, like they're always pretty good on features. Like even their cheaper ones, like the Buds Live, are going back a couple years. They all have like USB Type-C on the case. They have wireless charging on the case, so you can drop these on a phone charger. The Samsung earbuds have always had really good device switching. So that's one thing that like I've struggled with on a bunch of other earbuds whenever I'm back when I was reviewing these constantly, is I would find ones where like they would not connect to a new device unless I disconnected them first or put them back in the case or some other thing. Yeah. Samsung earbuds work great. Like I can just have them in my ear, connected to my phone, and then I click them on my Mac and they'll just switch. Or I click them on my Samsung tablet and they switch. Like the software is always pretty good on these from my experience. So they have all that fun stuff. The case is a little bit smaller. Samsung says 15% smaller than the Galaxy Buds Pro. There is active noise canceling. Samsung says the earbuds last for 5 hours with ANC on or 8 hours with ANC off.
Wow,
which is not
a pretty big jump.
Yeah, so that's not like that's like for me, like I basically never have wireless earbuds in for more than like an hour at a time. But obviously, hopefully you'd want to keep these for a couple of years and the battery will degrade. So
yeah,
it's good to have a high starting position for that.
Yeah, my standard as far as like what I think is necessary is to be able to get through like the first half of your day at work, then be able to drop them into the charger for lunch, and then be able to get through the second half of your day at work. Like that's the mandatory. So 4 hours is a requirement. I figured everything should be able to make it at least 5. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't make it that long, you're probably in the territory where you need to be a person who's only going to wear them for much shorter periods of time.
Yeah, so that is lower than the Pixel Buds that just came out. So these get 5 hours with ANC. Pixel Buds get 7. And then that goes from 8 to 11 with ANC off. So not like high end. I think Sony's upper end earbuds are also much better with battery life. But again, like that's fine. I'm not gonna gripe about that too much. The main thing that Samsung is advertising with these earbuds, like the main upgrade, is that it supports 24-bit audio.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of buts with that. So that is 24-bit audio with Samsung's proprietary codec. So that will only kick in if you're using a Samsung phone or tablet running One UI 4.0 or later, which is their Android 12. And this needs the application to output that audio. So I have no clue what streaming services or video players or whatever will pump out this high quality audio. Samsung didn't mention a single one in their announcement. They gave me no examples to work with. So I don't know if this works with YouTube. I don't know if it works. I imagine it probably doesn't work with Spotify, at least right now. Maybe it will in the future, but I had no idea what you'd play this with. At least when Apple made, they touted their high fidelity audio, whatever. They were like, yeah, listen to it on Apple Music.
Yeah.
I have no idea what this works with.
Okay. I feel like this has just become the thing that any company that makes both phones and wireless buds, they're basically doing this kind of stuff. OnePlus did the same thing with Dolby Atmos. Like, it only works with OnePlus phones and also their earbuds. Guess what? Dolby Atmos kind of doesn't even make a lot of sense on the earbuds. Unless you want to kind of believe the BS marketing. And I forget who it was, but somebody else was doing like some sort of HDR audio thing. That could have also been Samsung or OnePlus. I really wasn't paying close attention, but and of course Apple was doing the spatial audio, which kind of a thing, but that's more of a gimmick because I think most people don't actually want that.
Oh, that's 100% a gimmick.
Yeah. So I think this is just another one of those things. Like, it's great to say that they're pumping 24-bit audio, but who cares?
Yeah. And the other big kicker with this, which I didn't know, which also applies to all of Samsung's other earbuds, and I didn't know how bad this was, is that you need to use the Galaxy wearable app to change like a lot of the settings. If you want to change what the buttons do, install firmware updates for the buds, whatever. And that most earbuds are like that now. You need to use their stupid app, whatever, to change the settings. That should just be like a Bluetooth standard at this point. I don't really know why, but whatever. But Samsung is especially annoying because the Galaxy wearable app is only on Android.
Oh, for a second I thought you were going to say it's only on the Galaxy App Store.
Oh, no.
That would have been really bad.
I think there's like maybe some features that like only work on Galaxy stuff. I'm not sure exactly what. I think that's just like like if you open the case next to a Samsung phone, they'll show up to pair on a nearby Samsung phone with like the little animation thing copying Apple. I think it's just stuff like that. I don't think it's anything.
Yeah,
critical.
OnePlus has the same thing.
Yeah. So so like it's the same thing as Apple, where like if you these will connect to anything. Like I use my Galaxy Buds Live with my MacBook constantly, but you cannot change any of the settings. You can't change what the buttons do or turn off some of the gestures if you think they're annoying. I'm sure voice activation, whatever, probably broken or doesn't work as well. And that's annoying when Apple does it, and it's annoying when Samsung does it. At least if you buy earbuds from like Sony or JBL or whoever, like their apps are cross-platform. They're usually still not on desktop, which is a whole other issue, but at least no matter if you're using iPhone or Android, you can do everything that it promises.
Yeah.
Especially when these earbuds are $230. That's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it feels like I almost wonder if the 24-bit audio is just there to justify that price, because I'm not seeing any reason why they would be that expensive otherwise. Because look around at the competition. There's so many really good buds at the 150 price point, but give or take, like maybe as high as 170 or as low as like 120, 130. Like in that range, there's some really, really good buds out there that I bet would match or beat these we'll say match in just about any appreciable way. And actually, a lot of them have better battery life. I'm not really sure what the selling point of these is if it's not the gimmicks. And the gimmicks aren't really that good.
Yeah, like I got the Galaxy Buds 2 a couple months ago, just because like I needed, well, I didn't need, but I wanted ANC earbuds that worked, and I don't really have any like that right now. And they're pretty good. Like the ANC is pretty good. I don't have any of the, Sony's amazing noise canceling in-ear earbuds to compare them with, but like they seem to work pretty well. And and again, like they have the same pretty good software. They have the same, USB-C wireless charging, all that fun stuff. And the Buds 2 MSRP for $130 right now, but right now on Amazon they're $70. So
wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's Amazon showing me the refurbished one.
Okay.
Hold on. I think they're like wow, I forgot how bad Amazon's website is. I think they're like 100 on sale most of the time. So that's less than half the price. If I go to Target, their MSRP, they're 130. But that's still half the price of the Pro for, again, like I don't know what you're using the 24-bit audio from. And like if you're really into that audio quality, you should really just still be using wired, or go get an adapter or something.
Yeah.
Like I know obviously like it'd be cool if like that all worked like it does for wired, but that's still your best option.
And at 24-bit audio, I wonder how much data throughput that's requiring.
Yeah, that gets into like
is this actually Bluetooth, or is this just deep compression?
It's a lot of compression. That's using Samsung's codec. So I don't know again like what that sounds like. I'm not like super picky with audio quality with earbuds generally. So I don't know. I don't think they've shipped anything with like this technology in it yet. So I'll be curious to see what the reviews are like. If they can review it. Again, I don't know what you connect this to, what apps you use to get to max out the audio quality here. I don't know how Android handles this. Well, I guess it doesn't matter because it's on Samsung's phones, so they're doing all the audio codec stuff. But yeah, like I don't know. I'll have to see. I'm not reviewing these, so
yeah. So I don't know. It feels like they didn't really put out a product that's set for the market. That's where I'm gonna come down on this. I don't think they really set out to make the market appropriate product. But hey, it is what it is. I'm sure there are people who are gonna buy these.
Oh yeah, and like I think Austin said, like there's like bundle deals.
Yeah. Actually, that's exactly what it is. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
It's 100%. It's going to be all about the bundles.
And yeah, I mean, Samsung for like 10 phone launches in a row, if you bought a phone from Samsung, they would throw in the Buds Live. Like that happened constantly. So maybe this will take that place. I don't know. I guess I think they are still selling the Buds Live. Again, if they discontinue it, I will be very upset. Yeah, they're still selling it. Ooh, they're on sale.
Oh my god. So I plugged in that S22 that I've got. It got it charged up enough to start it, and I just opened the. Well, I wanted to see like how many updates. Apparently, just from the Galaxy store, I have 40 apps to update, and only a very small number of these aren't Samsung. And actually, pretty much anything that's not Samsung is all Microsoft stuff. It's a little surprising to me. And then Play Store, I dread to see. Play Store also says 40 updates pending. That is a hell of a coincidence for it to be 40.
I think I don't know if like they conflict with each other.
There actually are a few overlapping apps here.
Yeah, I think there's some apps that will do either or, like they're using the same signatures.
Well, yeah, and it's only a few of these. Like Samsung Health, Samsung Internet, a few of the Microsoft, actually all the Microsoft things. So, yeah, a few of these will kind of get solved from either one. That's fine. It is just one hell of a coincidence that it was 40 for both with not overlapping stuff. But still, that's just... I'm very surprised Samsung had that many app updates. I'm not that... I expected that from the Play Store, not from Samsung. And I expected that from the honestly, I would have expected more from the Play Store just for the fact that I don't have that much installed on this phone.
Yeah, there's a lot that comes with it.
I set it up and I really didn't install beyond like my must-have apps. And then if, that was it. Like it's pretty much just what came stock plus, I threw on Stadia. I threw on my favorite calculator app. I threw on a few others, but not much. Like this is extremely lightweight.
Yeah, so that's Samsung stuff. Nothing. I'm not buying anything. Again, like I don't know. Maybe I'll have an iPhone in 3 months. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I have one. I have one now, but it's very old and has a bad camera.
Yeah. I would kind of, out of this entire list, well, like I said, I'm sort of toying with the idea of maybe getting a Z Flip 4, just because AT&T would give it to me for free.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like, there's nothing. I'm not really... Well, okay, sorry, take that back, actually, too. I would like to get the watch, a Watch 5, just so I have a current Wear 3.0 watch,
right,
or 3. Whatever, if they're going to call it 3.5. I would like to have that, but I doubt I can get that with the Z Flip trade-in. I don't know, maybe I can.
There's probably some combination of weird things you can do.
Well, if I recall, what
they do trade-ins on the watches as well.
Well, if I recall, what you could do, at least with the S22 launch, you could do the AT&T trade-in deal on Samsung's site, which also gave you the accessory bonus. So I think I could probably go on Samsung's site, do the trade-in deal, and just get the watch as my accessory.
Maybe.
Pay the extra probably $100 or how much does the watch retail for again?
Starts at $230, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah, I don't know, their accessory deal is probably for $100, $150, something like that. So, I could probably do that. I don't think I will, but
right.
There's at least mild temptation.
Yeah, I mean, like I mostly like my Watch 4. I don't use it a lot. Like I don't use watches because I can't type with the watch on. Like I just can't.
Yeah, no.
So I'm typing most of the time, and then like I'm not gonna remember to put the watch on when I'm not. typing. So really, I'm just using it when I go out, or I'm like, walking around doing, dishes and cleaning and stuff, and I have the watch on because like it's easier to change what I'm listening to. But yeah, like I don't know. I don't use the smartwatch stuff a lot. Like I don't do sleep tracking. I don't really have a need for that. I don't, when I'm exercising, it's not something I like also really need to track all that. That's just like I'm going on a walk with my dog, and that's what we're doing. And I'm, I know roughly about the distance I'm walking, and I know I'm not getting like major cardio burn from that. So I don't know, I don't really use the smartwatch stuff a lot, and it feels like maybe I didn't need to spend that money, but whatever.
So, yeah, well, I've talked about this before, so I'm just kind of repeating it, but I wear the watch or a watch when I go out, when I leave my house, which for the last couple of years, thank you, pandemic, for the last couple of years, I haven't done a whole lot of. I still typically wear the watch. I do forget it sometimes, but every time I forget it, it drives me nuts because I'm always, wherever I am, I always at some point or another look at my watch and go, or I look at my wrist and go like, damn it, I wish I had my watch on. So I almost always want it to tell time or to see notifications or something. So I do really like having a watch when I'm out, but I don't wear a watch around the house, and that's where I am 98% of my life. So yeah, that's not, it's not super worth it, but at the same time, I would kind of like to not have, or not be going, or not judging the current state of wear entirely on all outdated watches, except for, if you want to call it not outdated, the Fossil Gen 6.
Right.
This is this is Gen 6, I think. Whatever it is I reviewed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I want to get, I really would like to get something newer, but yeah, it doesn't feel like we're there yet. And also,
Austin.
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, Austin said, Corbin, it sounds like you need the Galaxy Watch 6 Fold Plus. Yeah. Yeah, give me that giant watch from Spy Kids that has all the buttons on it.
Yep. Okay, so, oh damn, what was my brain about to yell at me and say? Oh, the mere fact that they are claiming that this is Wear 3.5. I'm still curious what is the story with Wear 3? Like, is it officially released? Are we now waiting on 3.5? Is that now the thing? Has Wear just become like a thing for Samsung to do, and everyone else is just kind of living on the old Wear? I don't get what's going on, and this watch is making that even more confusing. So I'd kind of like to know that before even considering making another watch buying decision.
Yeah, I saw there was some stuff announced, like software changes in whatever build of Wear OS that is on, but it was all apps. It wasn't like system stuff. Like they were talking about, and it's not even clear that like that's even like necessarily tied to Wear OS 3, because they I know they mentioned like some offline stuff in Google Maps and like other minor stuff like that. So again, like I don't know why is that a I don't know what the story is there. Hopefully someone with more time than me will investigate that and report.
Austin makes a great point. This is like the anti-tech podcast episode. Foldables? Nah. Too fragile. Smartphones? Who needs them?
Yes.
You're not wrong.
I will return to my... I mean, like, I'm liking a lot of other tech right now, just not the specific two things.
Well,
Um,
I don't feel like I'm even really crapping on tech per se. I'm just saying, like right now, my thing is Samsung announced stuff, and it's cool, but I'm having trouble caring about it because either price point or fragility. Like
yeah, like
these
there's
are the
just
things that are killing me.
yeah, like there's nothing groundbreaking in anything Samsung revealed. Like the folding phones are marginally better. The watch is marginally better, unless you wanted the spinny bezel, then it's worse. And the earbuds are questionably useful and very expensive. So
I'm sure the earbuds are quite nice. They're just really expensive for being, well, compared to other earbuds of basically identical specs. Yeah, they're way too expensive.
and if I'm spending $200 on any kind of earbuds or headphones or something, you can get something that sounds really good
Yeah,
for that. And like I don't know, like in-ear earbuds are still kind of a toss. Well, I know they sound like they're gonna sound really good, but you can also get some really nice over-ear headphones for that. You can get some really nice wired headphones for that. I don't. Yeah, it's just not a good value necessarily, especially compared to what Samsung already sells.
yeah.
Like again, my favorite earbuds from them are the Buds Live because of the design that's not in ear. Where like, I don't know what's wrong with my ears, but in ear earbuds fall out constantly. Buds Live don't do that, so they're my favorite, and they're like, I'm pretty sure they were $99 at launch, and they go on sale all the time. So like my favorite buds from them are the least expensive ones. And they still sound pretty good. Like they obviously have no like sound isolation or anything, but
It's funny you mentioned that because 100%. The earbuds I've actually been using for the last several weeks, even though I no longer have any obligation for writing reviews or updates about them. It's been the Nord Buds from OnePlus. Those, they're cheap. They're really, really low cost buds, but I like them.
Yeah.
They're pretty damn good. I have right here the much more expensive Buds Pro. Yeah, not using them. I have my previous favorite, the Hammerheads 2 from Razer, which who saw that being anywhere near favorites. I like them, but I kind of been liking the Nord Buds more. And then I've got the really expensive that launched at $300 Klipsch earbuds, the True Wireless 2 or whatever. I forget what they're called. They have a terrible name, or really boring name. I mean, they sound very, very slightly better, but in almost every conceivable way, these things are just worse. Sorry, Klipsch, but I think this was a bad product. Yeah, no, I'm just using the cheapest earbuds that I've ever had. Yeah, and I kind of just like them a little more.
The cheap buds are getting better all the time.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like I said in the review, I fully expect the Buds 2, the Nord Buds 2, to be absolute trash. Because that's just what OnePlus does. They come out with one first gen that's really good, and then their second gen is like, yeah, we're just gonna ride it out and hope nobody notices.
Yeah. So that's Samsung stuff. Again, I'm kind of lukewarm on all of it, but yeah. And my back hurts and I'm very hungry, so I'm gonna go now, I think.
Oh, you're gonna leave before the RCS shaming?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, fine.
Yeah. I have burgers to cook, actually. Ooh. Yeah, which I need to. Again, this is another problem with like living on your own alone is like food expires way too quickly.
Okay, I was just about to ask the very specific question of burgers. Does that mean you have someone coming over?
Yeah. No,
you're just gonna pig out.
Yeah.
Okay, No,
It's
I do remember this very well. When I was living alone in Vegas, I 100% had a big problem with buying food that
it's yeah, it's very annoying because like I would like to buy more varied food, but then I have to like use all of it before it expires. And like as an example, like the when I go to Target, of course it's Target, but when I go to Target, they have like small package of burger patties or like the approximate amount of like ground beef or whatever, and all of it is like enough for like multiple days, but of course it expires in a couple days. So
Mhm.
if I buy it, I'm like, okay, great, I have to have I have to have this specific burger for like more than half the week tonight. It's like uh
Okay,
like I mean like it's like it tastes good when I make it, I just don't need it like that many days in a row necessarily.
okay. I actually have a recommendation for this. This isn't something that I ever did, so I'm just kind of going off of things I've learned since, which I regret. But what I would recommend: make a burger basically as soon as you can, and then maybe later that night or sometime the next day, use ground beef in a completely different kind of recipe.
Yeah.
Especially different nationality recipe is a really big win. Now that could mean make tacos.
Yeah, I was about to say tacos.
Um,
That's fairly that's easy. That's I can do that competently.
yeah,
There's
it's
not a lot I can
it's about the easiest way to go.
toss the beef into the into the shell. Good job, you're done.
Pretty much. Or like there are some really good Thai dishes that can use ground beef. Um, Vietnamese, I believe, actually has some good ground beef dishes. Uh, Italian, even like make some pasta with ground beef in there. Like there
Mm,
are some really really good ways to go with this, but just make something completely different from burgers, especially if it's something that freezes,
yeah,
because then you don't have to worry about necessarily eating it right away. You can make a batch, freeze it, and then just have it as like a quick lunch or
right.
whatever. Like it's a way to go.
Yeah, yeah. It's just annoying. I wish generally I could buy things in smaller portions still, and I know that's why like
Yeah.
all these meal prep services exist. But like I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other way to go, and I don't recommend it, but it is a way to go. If you know a grocery store that has a butcher, a lot of times you can go straight to the butcher and just be like, "Hey, I want this amount,"
Mhm.
and you know,
Give me a quarter of what you would normally sell, sir.
basically, yeah. Um,
Austin said Cody just solved food waste. Yeah, just make tacos, dumbasses.
I mean, it's amazing how much taco and salad are pretty much the two easy answers to making almost all food be consumable.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds fun. And now I'm going to go.
All right, man. Well, take it easy. Enjoy the burgers, multiples.
They do taste pretty good. Like I get really close to setting off the fire alarm in my apartment every time, which is annoying, but they do taste good in the end.
Okay, I feel just because you said that, I feel like I have to ask, how do you cook them?
Literally just medium. Like I'm not even like burning them to a crisp or anything.
Good, good.
Yeah.
I was worried. And are you just cooking them straight or adding anything?
Yeah, I add like cheese. I've got like some like ground pepper and other stuff. I don't remember what they're called. I just grab
Sure.
grab the seasoning from the drawer and slam it on.
Okay.
You know, the usual.
Okay.
No, I'm not just ingesting the the beef. That's it.
Well, to be fair, you eat McDonald's, so you never know.
That's true. I do that sometimes. I did that earlier, but I didn't really get a lot of food there. I was mostly just going there because it is absolutely frigid in there. I don't know why that McDonald's is like an ice cube, but it's very nice. Um, when I don't want to pay for my own AC, so I went there for a couple hours. And also, that's using my tethering that I pay for, and I feel like I should use. So
Wow. It makes sense.
yeah, very 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 cold McDonald's, the one near me.
The very cold McDonald's power.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I suppose I shouldn't keep you from it, even though I kind of
Sure.
want to rope you into trashing on the RCS website, but
Not this time, Cody.
yeah, see, you always accuse me of keeping you here. I kept you here to answer 2 questions about burgers, and now I'm letting you go, so
Yeah.
you can't really accuse me of this.
Okay. All right. Well, have fun with that. I will go now.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Goodbye, everyone.
All right. So, let's see. Since I myself actually don't have too much more prepared, I think this will probably be the last topic, unless something really specific or great comes along. Real quick, Corbin's from the South. He was probably given a life supply of seasonings from birth. It doesn't the South only have one seasoning? Butter. Pretty sure Paula Deen actually is an advocate of the South's main seasoning, butter. She is actually, if the scientists are correct, she is actually 87% butter. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think anyone missed this week. It's hard to have missed this topic, but Google set up a site. You know what? I have not actually visited the site itself. But Paula Deen, 87% butter, 13% racist. Oh, that's not fair. I'm sure it's no higher than 10%. There's got to be some fiber connective tissue in there that doesn't technically qualify as butter or racism. But hey, you never know. I can totally picture her being like, but I'm all white meat. Okay, Paula. Yes, you are. Anyway. So, yeah. It's funny to me that I actually have not visited this site yet. But anyway, Google has set up a site specifically focused on like guilt tripping Apple or trying to shame them or something into supporting RCS on iPhones or in iMessage. And it's hilarious to me because I feel like that if anything, they might actually be making the point for why people should be getting an iPhone. So this site, my God, there's actually so much more to this site than I thought there would be. Oh yeah, and of course Max's TikTok video. But as everybody knows, we've talked about it on the show before. Apple has been using iMessage for the purpose of lock-in. It has been very effective. If anything could be more effective, I can't imagine it. But they managed to build something that has social caste systems built into it. It is actually kind of a social bullying mechanism because, like, literally they made it so anyone who is not using iMessage in a group chat is basically like destroying your messaging experience. They've gone so far out of their way to make it a terrible experience. I bet there are so many iMessage developers who are just sitting there thinking to themselves like, we could make this so good if Apple just let us. But we've been given the mandate, we can't. But anyway, the thing is, iMessage is making that push, and there's no question it is selling iPhones. iPhones have over 50% market share in the US. Even if it was less than that, I don't think it would matter. But I think Apple has zero incentive to ever support RCS. I said this at least a year ago. The only way Apple's ever going to support RCS is if the time comes that people feel ashamed of using an iPhone because it doesn't support RCS. The point at which the customers actually feel like they're being held back, that's when Apple would do it willingly. Outside of that, I don't see any way that happens, and I don't think any amount of bullying from Google or attempted bullying is going to do it. I don't think that any amount of pressure from carriers at this stage, honestly, I don't think I previously said I thought the carriers could make this happen. I don't buy that for a second. I think if anything, if carriers try to push this, I bet Apple's just going to double down. I think Apple will push this as far as possible to ensure that they will never support RCS. They do not want the messaging experience to be good. They want only iMessage to rule forever. And as a result, I am fairly confident that this just is not going to happen until some sort of legislation comes along. And even then, the thing we also have to remember is it's not like this is a thing where the EU is going to do it for us. Like, that happened with USB-C, kind of. Apple is very much at this stage all but guaranteed to start support, or to switch the Lightning connector in the iPhone over to USB-C. That was a thing that we were eventually going to get to, probably, but the EU did it first. They did it first. They did it pretty well. There could be improvements, but let's not nitpick. And now it's pretty likely the US is going to pin a deal or a bill that is going to basically do the same thing. Legislation makes things happen. It sucks sometimes, and the way that it happens isn't always good, but it's pretty much an inevitability that we're going to see a USB-C iPhone somewhere in the next year or two. And I know everyone keeps saying that Apple's going to switch to a all wireless charging iPhone. I do not buy that for a second. I'm sure they want to, but I don't think it's going to happen. But that's not important. That's not really our chief topic here. The thing is, all around the world, this is what everyone else is using. Right here. These guys. WhatsApp and Signal. Well, mostly WhatsApp, sadly. Unfortunately. Horribly. That's what a lot of people are using. And I look at this and it's like, we're the only country where our messaging platform is so screwed up. And as a result, I think we're the only one that can do this. Nobody cares about RCS in any of the other countries. To some extent, it needs to be there, or it should be there. But I don't think it's going to happen. So we have to do this one for ourselves, and I don't think it's going to happen because every politician out there is mostly unaware of this, uninterested in this, or completely just not willing to do anything that would challenge Apple or hurt their potential placement with tech companies. So yeah, unfortunately, I think Google's efforts here are probably, I don't want to say wasted. Like, they're trying, but I think that this is either just going to work against them, or I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. So Allah was the answer all along. Austin, you're an evil human being. Actual evil. Allah. No. ICQ was the answer all along. It was there from the beginning. We had the solution. And then AOL bought it and ruined it. But yeah, unfortunately, I just cannot see Apple making the switch willingly. I don't think carriers are going to push them into it. I don't think Google can leverage it. I don't think anyone has the influence to make Apple do this, except for the US government. And at this stage, I can't picture more than a handful of politicians actually willingly making this one happen, because Apple has managed to stay on the good side of so many politicians. Plus, most of them use iPhones, and I'm sure half of them at some point or another have probably even talked to Apple and been told that if they push these issues, I'm sure Apple is even telling them it will make your phone worse somehow. Because let's be honest, it's fun lying to politicians because they believe stuff. Clearly, that is the only explanation for why we have the situations that we're in. Oh, so yeah, it is what it is, but unfortunately, Is it weird that this episode has kind of been I've lost all hope and interest in everything? It's occurring to me that has been the theme, but Samsung, uninteresting. Google and RCS, never gonna happen. Well, with Apple. Though to be fair, there could be arguments made that RCS wasn't really happening either. What were the other I don't even remember the other topics now. Let's see. Yeah, I've already forgotten. It is, by the way, warming up in this office a lot, so I said this would probably be the last topic, and I think that was probably a good choice. Anyway, so Austin, was there anything else that we need to hit, just out of curiosity? While I give you that 1 second to consider that, I am going to briefly point out, I think I can actually, can I talk about this? Hold on. I think that this is not under embargo, but I need to check. Things to check on. Loading it up. Okay. Alright, cool. It exists, so I can actually talk about this. So the phone, I'm actually going to finally review a phone. I've never reviewed a phone for AP before. I'm going to be reviewing the T-Mobile Revel 6 Pro 5G. This is a phone that is being widely mocked for its large size, which I have received this phone. I have to say, it's actually not that big. I mean, it's bigger than a lot of phones, but it's not that huge. Which, in a second, I will talk about what's extremely terrible about it, but do you know who the ODM is? I do not. I have not looked into it. But for reference, so here's the phone. Oh, here, let's switch views. Here's the phone. Yes, it's fresh out of the box, so it has the sticker on it still. I haven't peeled it off yet because I'm going to wait until I can take pictures of it, and then I will peel it off then. But for reference, here is a Pixel 2 XL. if I stick the Pixel 2 XL on top, notably the Pixel 2 XL is in a very thin case, so it is a little bit wider because of the case. I'm lazy, so I'm not going to take the case off, but suffice to say, they're basically the same width. I am finger across the bottom. These two phones are stacked properly, kind of in front of my face, so there's contrast. But yeah, that amount of pink is how much taller this phone is than the Pixel 2 XL. It's not bad. Like, if you have shallow pants pockets, this phone won't do great. Otherwise, it's really not that bad. Like, a lot of people are making fun of how terrible the size is, and it's just it's bigger, but it's not crazy. That being said, it's not a great phone, for one specific reason, or one reason that stands out to me. Well, though, I guess a couple of reasons. And again, I have not even used it yet, so I'm sort of prejudging it a little bit, but it does have a couple of very notable spec issues. Let's see, it's quad camera, which is surprising. Actually, I haven't looked at what the cameras are. Anyway, the biggest notable problems, it does in fact have a MediaTek Dimensity 700 processor, which is not wonderful, but not the worst thing in the world. It is... Oh, do they not show? They don't show the biggest weak point on this. Oh, no, yeah, they do. Sorry. It has a huge screen, but it's 720p. So, you know, pixels so large you could basically use them as dinner plates. So that's not wonderful. On a 6.82-inch HD Plus display. So yeah, that's not wonderful. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here was the other part that I wanted to look up. Oh, hey, look at that. I had forgotten to switch back to that view. So 50 megapixel main camera sensor, and then we promptly dropped to 5 megapixel for the ultra wide, a 2 megapixel macro camera, and I guess they're counting the depth sensor as a camera, which is an interesting choice. Not sure you should do that, but hey, whatever. And then, of course, a 60 megapixel front camera, which actually, it's not terrible. Kind of depends on quality, but we won't judge too hard. Also, it's again, for a fairly sizable phone, feels like 5,000 milliamp hours. Not quite enough for the battery. So, yeah, it's not a huge winning phone. Oh wait, this has... maximum expandable memory, 2 terabytes. So, okay, they have SD slot. I didn't even notice that yet. I won't be using that at all. Oh, wait. Holy crap, did I not see that? It has a 3.5 millimeter audio jack? It does. I mean, I'm not going to say that I want to use this phone, but I can see why there might actually be people that want this phone. Like, it's not the worst. Well, I can't say that till I try it, but this might not actually be that terrible of a phone. Just for various little reasons that might make it actually desirable for some users. Anyway, so I'm going to be reviewing this phone. In theory, that's going to happen in about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks, give or take. So yeah, also I'll actually be testing legitimately T-Mobile service. I've never had that opportunity in my area. Not really. So we'll see what happens. That could be disastrous. Let's see. So, yeah, that's a review that's coming up. Looking around to see if there's anything else I'm not thinking of, and I don't think there is. So, with that, I think it's time for me to take off. So, thanks to everyone for coming by. Oh, yeah, sorry. This weekend, streaming this weekend, I should check that. What is the weather like? What is our weather in this neighborhood going to reveal? Mid 80s Saturday, kind of upper 80s on Sunday, but it's gonna be getting down to the mid and upper 50s at night. So maybe, I think Saturday pretty likely gaming, Sunday a little bit iffy, but not out of the question. So it's only a few more degrees up from Saturday to Sunday. Let's see how Saturday goes. If Saturday goes well, there will be streaming on Sunday. Let's say that. And one of those days will very possibly be a photo stream, I think. Because I probably need to do photos for the NAS first. Before that, yeah, I might try to do a photo stream of shooting the phone at that point. We'll see what happens, but I see potential here. Okay, anyway, with that, thanks everyone for coming by, hanging out, being part of the conversation, chatting with myself and the Corbin. Let's see, I hope everyone has an excellent rest of their week. I seriously, the heat goes up in here and my brain just starts shutting off completely on what to say. If anyone would like to support the channel, help out with all the things, there are links down below to Streamlabs, Patreon, and Cash App. Of course, thank you to the Patreon subscribers. That is David, Diablo, and Austin. Thank you guys for helping out so generously. And seriously, I need to like script this. One of these days I will, and that way I will just be able to go straight through from point to point and actually say things and not sound like an idiot rambling. But then this show would not have its name. But with that, thanks to everyone, and have a good night, everybody.